All right, all my cards on the table. I'm going to be completely honest with all of you. I've always wanted a cult. Look, it's not an ego thing or a self-centered thing. I just think the idea of a cult is pretty cool. You all get matching outfits, you have the same interests, even if they're forced on you. You just kind of hang out with your new friends all day. It sounds great. Nobody ever really gets to argue with you, and you get to just live in this bubble detached from society, worshiping some elder god that you've offered your soul to in exchange for winning lottery tickets. It just sounds good. Minus, you know, all the ritualistic sacrifices and Kool-Aid and things like that. When I initially saw the reveal for Cult of the Lamb at Gamescom in 2021, I immediately got excited. It gave me strong Don't Starve Together vibes, kind of mixed with Binding of Isaac and Hades Combat, which are both games I love, and I, dare I say it, got hyped. A huge plus side is that it was being published by Devolver, a company that has a superb track record of great games like Enter the Gungeon and Genital Jousting. I had to ask, how could it possibly be bad? I, when recording this and going over it, wanted to also give credit to Massive Monster. I know it breaks the flow after the question to credit them, but you know, they made it so. All right, seriously, what is Cult of the Lamb for people that don't know? Well, it's a colony sim, a roguelike, an action adventure game, and a fighting game all in one. The entire premise is that you are a lamb stuck in this hell of a universe where everything is dictated by dark eldritch horror gods that thrive and bestow power based on worship and sacrifice. You're one of those sacrifices given another chance at life when a chained god or prophet, one of the other ones all the others strongly dislike, takes you as their avatar and representative and brings you back from the dead, charging you with the responsibility of making a cult, freeing them, and killing all the other gods in the process. Simple enough? Because that was a mouthful. Throughout the game, you'll be going into dungeons designed around each individual bishop or god, rescuing followers, and managing a cult colony with various different needs. All of those things tie into your powers and abilities and make you feel stronger, allowing you to kill things with a variety of weapons and spells during your runs. First off, art style. And honestly, this is the strongest thing the game has going for it. Cult of the Lamb is, for lack of a better term, a hand-drawn animated 2D experience that uses distance and depth to give it that 3D feeling. It's a very cutesy take on an incredibly fucked up scenario and situation, with each character, even the bad ones, looking adorable in their own rights. Case in point, even the gods themselves or bishops are all covered in blood and gore stained with the blood of their followers that they openly murder. They have cutesy cartoon eyeballs and fit the aesthetic. The main character, Lamb, is absolutely freaking adorable, with a billion different expressions made for them that add quite a bit of charm to everything they do. There's an immense amount of detail packed into each and every scene at any given point, which is something you typically don't get in these drawn style games. It's like Sunday morning cartoons got faced by a death metal cult, and it just looks so good. Cult followers have the same adorable-esque looks as Lamb, even when you're doing things like performing cult sermons or sacrificing them for your god, with all of them consistently being happily animated, cheering and going yay as blood rains down over the room. I know you're really mad at the cult and everything, but you know, oh, that's unfortunate. Oh, you really hate to see that happen. Nothing really deviates from the theme, and it's just such a good design of cute enough mixed with evil and horrifying, really making it stand out when it comes to that visual experience. Enemies vary wildly from simple frogs to things like horror abominations, all of which being well themed to the area you locate them in and the cult leaders or gods they represent. You'll be in an enchanted woods for one zone and then a bog or marsh in another, with the zones themselves respectively looking great the whole time. Animations and combat effects in this are perfect for what they are, and at no point can I think of anything ever just being ugly or turning me off from what was going on. In the visuals department, this game soars, and I can genuinely say that if anything else sucked, I'd still give it a shot just because I love the art style and theme so much. Sound design and music in Cult of the Lamb is superb. The cute little noises that the lamb and other cultists make are adorable. That was hard to say. Even while they're being sacrificed, it's just more icing on the cake that tries to cutify eldritch horror. Strikes with weapons and spells are impactful. The ambience works in every location, all top-notch and extremely well done in regard to supporting the style the game goes for. Nothing really stood out as mind-blowing visually when it came to spells or fighting. It just all looked great, and that's fine enough by me. The story is solid. It's nothing deep or elaborate from what I understood, and I can't really talk more about it without spoilers, but yeah, it's a carrot on a stick that justifies all your actions as a cult leader. It gives purpose to all the death and destruction that you put on the world, and that's enough. There's a twist or two at certain points that made me go, oh, okay, but that's it. You're a murder hobo with cliff notes to a book. And hey, in a game like this, that just works. Colony management is solid. A bit tedious at times, and there's definitely room for improvement, but solid overall. What I mean by tedious is it felt that, like, for the most part of the first 6 hours I was playing, I had to worry way more about the colonists than actually playing the game. They were extremely demanding, wanted food all the time, constantly dissented from my religion, and felt like children that would die if you even tried to go to the bathroom while leaving them unsupervised. So, to start a colony, you rescue people on dungeon runs or purchase them from various NPCs. Once you do that, you can set them to work mining resources in your immediate area, all resources being used to construct buildings. These buildings range from a wide variety of things from farm plots to demonic sacrifice altars, with each one having a specific purpose and role they fulfill. To make food, you gotta get farms. To make colonists manage farms, you need to build a farm hut. To get them to harvest, you gotta upgrade that farm hut, or otherwise you're doing it all yourself. You get where I'm going with this. They've got needs, as I mentioned, which generally includes eating and sleeping, but also a devotion system that keeps them happy and in their place. You'll provide food by cooking with various ingredients at a campfire, with different tiers providing more filling results and bonuses when consumed. There's a colonist experience system called loyalty that you'll need to constantly fill by talking to them and gifting them things Animal Crossing style. It makes them generate more power for you in the long run at one of the buildings in your cult camp later on. You can also make them eat poop and stuff, which I guess is cool, or a soup that kind of looks like Kool-Aid that kills them instantly. But why would you ever want to do that when you're being a good leader? That would be evil. Everything they eat makes them poop. There's just so much poop. Probably clean up all this shit and puke everywhere, huh? Hey, it is what it is, chat. You know, sometimes there's shit everywhere. Look, it's not my... Oh, God. Why is there so much shit and puke? Oh, my God. Chat, what the fuck are you eating? Oh, my God. That's just so much poop, dude. Why are you pooping over here, chat? Oh, Jesus. There's just so much duke. They poop and throw up all the time. And sometimes I think they even poop multiple times in a row. You'll be single-handedly responsible for cleaning up all the poop and vomit in the beginning of the game with a cleanliness mechanic added on that you gotta keep track of. If you don't keep track of how much poop is everywhere, they'll get sick and die or require bed rest. I found this as annoying as hell to deal with when I just wanted to go out and kill stuff in the dungeons to progress the story. I just wasn't able to play for a while without upgrades to manage this, or all of my cultists would die from poop infections. Poop infections. There's two I would say that are major buildings that are in the camp: the temple and the shrine, with the temple being where you hold your sermons for your dark god, and the shrine being where they worship you to give you inspiration essence to learn more and better buildings. In the temple, you have the most important functions in the colony: the sermons, the crown upgrades, the rituals, and the doctrine page, which lets you see everything you've unlocked overall. Sermons are something that you can only hold once a day that improves your colonist happiness and gives you worship power, which is directly tied to an upgrade tree that makes you more powerful in combat. As far as I can tell, this is the only way to get this specific resource, so be sure to never miss a sermon to keep getting stronger. The crown upgrades are for unlocking doctrines and outfits, with doctrines being either passives or rituals that you unlock that give you various bonuses to your colony. One example of this is the ability to bribe your colonists with money to make them like your cult more, and another would be to sacrifice someone who is unhappy to a dark god and have them violated.
But you can't do this to me. You know how much I sacrificed?
Each doctrine upgrade you pick has a branching path option, so there's 8 for each subcategory, but you're only allowed to have 4 out of these 8 in a single playthrough. You following? Rituals are activated for a cost through the ritual page and do a variety of things like preventing your colonists from being hungry for 3 days, or even allowing you to go be a polygamist and marry multiple people in the name of your dark god. All of these are cool and serve their purpose. A lot of the rituals were enjoyable, but were a constantly juggling act added on to prevent me from playing the actual game. All of these are cool and serve their purpose. A lot of the rituals were enjoyable, but just felt like a constant juggling act added on to prevent me from ever going out and enjoying combat. With all that, there's a lot. There's a lot of management, a lot of needs balancing, and honestly, just maybe a bit too much hand-holding for your colony for the first 6 or so hours you play. They're cool systems and I enjoyed this part of the game, but it would have been way better if it wasn't stopping me from doing what I wanted to multiple times. In regard to the other places in the world map you can visit, there are a couple, with each having their respective vendors, NPCs, and side quests for you to take. They were all kind of one and done though, and not a big footprint in the grand scheme of things, but they were appreciated nonetheless. You unlock these zones naturally while playing through the game and progressing, including some gambling that you get to do later on. So let's talk about Cult of the Lamb's combat, and flat out I could tell you it's good. There's nothing deep or elaborate about it. It's your basic hack and slash and cast spells while dodge rolling to avoid being hit and killing enemies in one room before it lets you go to another type of game. It's got a very Slay the Spire type of progression for zone to zone, with each area you clear allowing you to take a branching path forward to the next zone or encounter. You could also compare it to Hades like I did earlier because it plays almost identically to that now that I think about it. The roguelike part of this game comes into play with those encounters and the random room generation for each tile set of each respective enemy god, with every run being completely different in the sense of map layout, drops, and upgrades. You'll get tarot cards while progressing through a run, with tarot cards being your upgrade points that diversify what you're best at the time or what you should be doing. A lot of these are pretty boring, I'll admit, with simple bonuses such as more damage and faster attacks or more hearts. I would have loved to see crazy modifiers like enemies exploding, or you do triple damage but hurt yourself slightly as an example. There are a lot of options, but they went the very simple route. Outfits that you unlock through your crown upgrades back at your camp apply different modifiers to your character, basically mutators that make your runs harder, adding another simple but appreciated layer of complexity to the game. Nothing that you'll be doing at all requires a like college degree to understand. It's very simple: chop, get bonus, keep chopping, progress, kill boss. Once you clear a zone a couple of times and kill the mini bosses at the end, you'll run to fight the big bad guy of the area, and this theme persists throughout the entire playthrough. Random encounters can punish you or reward you and your colony heavily, so keep track of what would hurt you the most while you progress onwards. Oh, and you'll get a lot of resources you need, like gold and bones, to do your rituals from by doing combat, so it's entirely advised that as soon as you're able to do it, you cram runs in whenever you can. It'll make your life way easier and less stressful to leave your colony. There's a lot of different weapon effects for weapons, but not very many weapon types. For example, you got like 5 daggers that do things like poison, give you energy, or steal health or whatever, but they're still just daggers and they all attack the same. I realized very quickly that the battle axes or gauntlets, in my opinion, were the best weapons, but hey, to each their own when you play through and decide for yourself. The boss fights are fun, they're not too much for the average person, and they're just hard enough if you're taking certain mutators to feel rewarding when you win. I wouldn't say they're baby mode, but they're definitely medium difficulty. Honestly, not a problem in the slightest for a cutesy death horror game like this. Before I wrap up, I just want to take a moment to talk about the Twitch integration in this game, because it made my entire experience way more enjoyable while doing tedious town stuff. Cultists get named after Twitch viewers and they get to customize them. They also get to vote on punishing or helping you, and the dynamic of sacrificing people in your chat if you stream is incredibly enjoyable. So yeah, if you know any streamers who are going to play this game, definitely mess with them while they do. It's a lot of laughs. Now for the fun part. Let's break down the Cult of the Lamb game piece by piece and get a final score for this review. And we're going to start with gameplay. Gameplay gets a solid 8 out of 10. It's good for what it is, and the various systems are all great but not perfect. They have their issues. Story gets a 6 out of 10. Being a cult leader and fighting dark gods and whatever is cool. I dig the narrative, but there wasn't a lot of it. Graphics get a 10 out of 10. This game's art style is awesome, and I just love how charming it is visually, and I love everything about it. Audio gets an 8 out of 10. It's good, but nothing mind-blowing. Supports the art style perfectly, and hey, you know, that's enough for me. And finally, value gets a 9 out of 10. For $25, you get what you pay for. I think I got 20 hours out of the game, and there's definite replayability, so that's solid value in my book. With all that said, I'm going to give Cult of the Lamb a final personal high score of 8 out of 10. There's a few things that hold it back that could have made the game a 9 out of 10 for me, or even a 10 out of 10, but overall, I really liked the game. It was a fun disconnect from all the serious games I've been playing lately, and it just allowed me to relax, force my cultists to eat poop, and worship a dark god. It's a game that really makes you feel like a cult leader, and that's awesome. I suggest you pick it up. Anyway, that's going to be it for this review. If you liked the video, hit the freaking like button and share this review around. Otherwise, go back and watch other videos and let me know down in the comments what type of games or which games specifically you would like me to cover in the immediate or near future. Thanks for watching, and until the next video, this is Delrith, and I'll be seeing ya. Bye.